Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? The presentation is about to begin. Honorable Miss Rahmatia Vitasari STMN, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this presentation. In this occasion, we would like to have a presentation. Before the presentation begins, allow us to introduce the presenter. This is Mr. Agam Yogi Fahlevi, Mr. Wahyu, and Mr. Abdilah. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the presenter to deliver the presentation. All right, Mr. Agam, the floor is your presentation time.
Okay, thank you for your moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation today is about tips to help your questionnaire design. Okay, before we start the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Agam Yogi Fahlevi, name 17000200002, class I, Chemical Engineering, Ahmad Dahlan University. Okay, what is questionnaire? The questionnaire is a research instrument consisting of a series of questions for the purpose of gathering information from respondents. Often a questionnaire uses both open and closed questions to collect data. Tips to improve your questionnaire. Tips 1, ask direct questions. Tips 2, keep it short and simple. Tips 3, repeat yes or no question if possible. Tips 4, ask one question at a time. And tips 5, take your survey for trial before you launch your questionnaire. Explanation of the following slide. Okay, tips 1, ask direct questions. Be as specific as possible and strive for clear and precise language that will make your questions easy to answer. Your questions must not be ambiguous, be direct, and never leave anything to be interpreted by the respondent, as it will conclude in misleading results. Example, don't ask this, how often are you particularly averse to risky situations? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, all of the time. But ask this, how often do you take risks? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, all of the time. And tips 2, keep it short and simple. Respondents are less likely to complete long surveys or surveys that have many topics. Make sure your survey follows a logical order and takes a reasonable amount of time to complete. Although they don't need to know everything about your research project, it can be helpful to lead respondents know why you are asking about a particular topic. Knowing the basis about who you are and what your research means, they are more likely to keep their response focused and within scope. Now, tips 3. Repeat yes or no questions if possible. Many yes or no questions can be reworked by including phrases such as how much, how often, or how likely. Make these changes whenever possible and include a response scales for research data. Example, don't ask this. Does the traffic on Highway 49 frustrate you? Yes, no. But ask this, how pleased are displeased are you with the traffic on Highway 49? Extremely displeased, displeased, moderately displeased, slightly displeased, neither pleased nor displeased, slightly displeased. Next. Okay, now tips for ask one question at a time. Although it's important to keep your survey as short as possible, that doesn't mean double the question. Trying to pack too much into a single question can lead to confusion and inaccuracies in the response. Example, don't ask this. Which cereal do you think is the healthiest and most delicious? Fruit, oats, grains, and flakes, granola beans. But ask this, which cereal is your favorite? Fruit, oats, grains, and flakes, and granola beans. And the last, tips 5, take your survey for trial before you launch your questionnaire. However, short or straightforward your questionnaire is, it is always a good idea to pretest your survey beforehand so that you can catch any possible errors before they have a chance to mess up your survey results. And share your survey with at least 5 people so that they can test your survey to help you find and correct problems before you distribute. Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Okay, Mr. Agam.
Okay, Mr. Wahyu.
Okay, let me ask one question. Why we need to make our questionnaire specific?
Okay, Mr. Wahyu. I will try to answer the questions. Uh, the specific questionnaire won't confuse the response because the unspecific question will create an ambiguous meaning or misunder, misunderstood about the question. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
okay.
Wahyu.
Thank you, Mr. Agam.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Agam, for the informative and interesting talk. And thank you for presentation in today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next presentation will be made by Mr. Wahyu. Alright, Mr. Wahyu, the floor in
Okay,
yours.
thank you.
Presentation time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdil, for this time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, uh, the presentation today is about successful strategies interview. Okay, before I starting my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Wahyu Elka Wakzuh, and I'm from English for Communication Class C. Uh, Now, uh, successful strategies interview. Number one, you need to prepare how for the interview. Number one, do a little homework. Number two, research the company and the position itself. For the example, you need to research about a product of this company, service, customer service, a customer, competitor, history, recent news, financial related information. Number two, you need to prepare for the actual interview. Uh, you need to practice answer the two common question. Prepare a list of questions to ask the employer. Make a list of your experience and qualification, and rehearse your interview with a friend. Check your diction, speed, and body language. Check your resume and a list of references to the interview. And the next is before the interview, you need to be on time, greet interview with a smile and firm handshake. Uh, don't make negative comment about farmers, employers, and be relaxed. During the interview, you need to show yourself confident and make eye contact. Reflect before answering a difficult question. Ask the question you prepare before the interview. Do not ask a question that raise a red flag. For the example is relocation a recruitment? Uh, so you're the best. So you are the best candidate for the job. Relate your previous experience with the qualification for the job in which you are applying, and avoid a negative body language. And the next is the common interview question. Number one, the employer will ask you why you will why should we hire you, and you need to answer and give good reason for the example. And number two, the employer will ask you, tell me about yourself. For this question, you need to answer and discuss your education, professional achievement, and professional goals. Describe your qualification for the job and how could help the company if hired. And number three, why do you want to work here? For this question, you need to show the interviewer your interest in the company, share what you learned about the job, the company, and the industry. Talk your own research. Talk about your professional skill will benefit to the company. And the question number four, the employer will ask you, why did you leave your last job? The interview is looking for a problems in your last job. Possible reason: relocated, laid off, company closed, temporary job, no room for advancement, returned to school. And number 5, the employer will ask you what are your major strengths. For this question, you need to answer with the skill that you would be most valuable to the company. And question number 6, the employer will ask you about your weakness. What are your major weakness? And you you need to answer this question, turn a weakness into a strength. For example, I am a perfectionist. I go over and over things until they are not perfect. I cannot walk away until they are right. Question that you might ask during the interview. Number 1, you need to ask, if I work hard and prove to be a good employee, where might I be in 5 years? And number 2, does your company provide future training opportunities for the employees? Thank you. Any question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahyu. I will question.
Okay.
Okay, concrete examples that can be put into practice. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, I will try to answer your question, Mr. Agam.
Yeah.
For the example, if you go to interview in one job, you need to expose about yourself, about your professional skill to the employer. For the example, like you have a skill, maybe you can use Microsoft Office or ada Photoshop and MATLAB, like that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahyu, for the answer.
Okay. Any question? Okay. If no question again, I will give the time for the moderator, Mr. Abdilah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahyu. Uh, thank you for the presentation and for the informative and interesting talk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the last presentation will be made by Mr. Abdilah. All right, Mr. Abdilah, the floor is your presentation time. Thank you, Mr. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will presentation in today about how to make curriculum vitae. Hello, my name is Abdilah. My name 17000200044. This is the presentation assignment of English for communication. What is it? STV is short for the Latin pars curriculum vitae, which means part of life. A detailed document highlighting your professional and academic story. Set of your ulangi lah anjir. Astagfirullahaladzim, kapas gua. Nah, bismillah. Oke. Bisa deal.
Ini kasihan Mas Wahyu yang edit nih. Bisa nggak, Mas?
Enggak kan, ngambil yang bagus-bagusnya doang, biar aja. Oke.
Bisa Mas Wahyu edit?
Bisa, udah bisa dia,
banyak
bisa.
dong. Yang ngedit yang susah duduk.
Udah biarin. Ya udah yang sampai Agam itu dulu aja. Stop dulu.
Ya udah langsung punya mau cepat.
Ya udah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will presentation today about how to make curriculum detail. My name is Abdilah. My name 17000 to 0044. What is CV? A CV, short for the Latin pars curriculum vitae. It means course of life. It's a detailed document highlighting your professional and academic history. Set up your professional details, education, qualification, and work experience. Next, how to make an interesting CV? First, understand the contents of the CV. Number two, not a design but still attractive. Number three, include detailed work experience information. Number four, insert reference contact. Number five, demonstrate your French language skill and add your social information. Next, format CV. Format CV, number one, contact information. Number two, personal information. Number three, employment history, work or organization. Number four, education. Number five, professional qualification. Number six, skills. Number seven, work. And number eight, interest. What should you must include contact information, name, address, telephone or cell phone, and email. Next, what should you must include personal information? In personal information, include date of birth, place of birth, citizenship, visa status, gender, and marital status. Marital status. Next, what should you include? You include in employment history, education, employment history, include in company or organization dates and job title. A sentence outlining the role you performed. Bullet points summarizing specific responsibilities you were given and evidence to back up specific achievement and skill you claim to have developed while in this role. And education, name of the university that studied, that studied, name of the degree or major subjects and certificates. What will you include in skill and interest? Skill in language, computing, other skills, and interest include don't use the all boring cycles here socializing with friends, hobbies that are a little out of the ordinary can help you to stand out from the crowd and any interested relevant to the job are worth mentioning. Other example, education, qualification, skill, and work experience and organization experience. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Okay, thank you. Any question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdil. I will question.
Okay,
Okay. Uh, why is CV so necessary? Thank you.
okay. Why is CP? Why is CP so necessary? Because one, shows the first effect. Before a recruiter calls you for an interview, they will look at your CV first. Number two, shows professionalism. When you enter the world of war, of course, you have to be professional because that is what is needed. Number three, interesting. Make sure you write a curriculum today that can attract recruiters to read your CV first compared to other people's CVs. Number four, describe yourself briefly. In your curriculum vitae, of course, you will write down your data and your achievement and experience that you have done. Number five, highlight your skills. Everyone has strengths and weakness. So write down write write down your abilities honestly, but don't overdo it. To make your strengths more visible, don't list your weakness. Okay, Mr. Agam?
Okay. Mr. Abdil, thank you for the answer.
Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Agam. Thank you, Mr. Abdilah, for the presentation and for the informative and interesting talk. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we come to the end part of our presentation. We would like to say thanks again to presenter for the informative and interesting talk and to audience for active participation. Hopefully, the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.